I slept in by an hour and a half. I'm normally up by 7, but it is currently 8:30. I had to take muscle relaxants last night due to headache, and so I slept in. I'm getting a bit of a late start, and currently I am waiting for Yen to bring me a morning latte while my cats are very excited that I am awake now. I think they get worried when I sleep in. Latte in bed because Yen is wonderful and takes very good care of me. Latte. Playing games with Yen. We always play the New York Times games in the morning. Having a breakfast of some homemade focaccia bread, black grapes, and a plum. And then I really do need to get up and get working, so hopefully the muscle relaxants will have worn off enough for that. I'm embarking on the first of much cleaning and pickup to do around the house. This is a load of wool laundry, all of which is covered in plaster dust from our ongoing renovation and restoration project. And then I just have stuff all over the house that I need to put away, like my field jacket that was thrown over our dresser, my slippers that are shoved under the bed. Hey, and what did I find in my pockets before I started the laundry? An N95 mask, 2 packets of seeds, and my she/they pronoun pin. I spared you us doing the dishes, but we did just finish getting some dishes soaking, unloading the dishwasher, wiping down the kitchen counters, and now I'm going to tear apart a Costco rotisserie chicken into the meat for our lunches and things through the week, and the bones in here to make some quick chicken stock. I'm shredding chicken and preparing stock. Yen made me my electrolyte drink that I have every day. I'm drinking liquid IV. This is not necessarily touting this for everyone and anyone, because you can actually do a lot of harm drinking extra electrolytes if you don't need them. But I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and I do need it. Rosemary for stock. Sage is just now starting to come back after all of our frosts and freezes, but I'm gonna pluck some for the stock. And thyme for the stock. Stock is started, and bread is started in that the yeast is proving. I'm moving soil from a pile that was 50% compost that I'd planted with a mulch cover crop over the winter. I'm doing this to make another garden bed in a sunnier area of the garden. I am planting early spring crops and some fortress plants to protect the crops from pests like deer and aphids. I am sowing borage, radishes, coriander, dill, carrots, nasturtiums, and marigolds. And then I am going to cover it with a few inches of mulch. I am planting seeds and mulching beds. Yen is trying to move a young pecan tree from a place it really shouldn't be. We're gonna try and keep it alive if we can, and in the process he's having to dig up a bunch of Hemerocallis doideae, which are daylilies, which we eat. So I'm gonna see if I can transplant these else in the garden.
They live through everything.
Yeah.
So very possibly.
Yeah, and it is time to get them in, so hopefully I can move these up front and we'll have even more daylilies. I am placing 3 inches of mulch on both of the new beds. Yen was able to get the pecan out without really breaking many of the roots. I don't know how. So we are going to just start having the, I don't know how I did it, I just did it and it was hard. We're gonna move that, I think, to the food forest up front. I just need to confirm which guilds it belongs in. Pecans are companion plants for hellebores, so we're gonna plant it here. This is an area of partial sun and partial shade anyway, which is what the pecan can tolerate. It can't tolerate full shade. And we also have a cherry tree here, which apparently gets along just fine as long as they've got about 10 feet between them.
Sweetheart, I'm getting a rainbow.
Bronze fennel. Coral. We already have a video up on YouTube helping people identify either henbit or purple dead nettle, but they really are used interchangeably in Eat the Weed soup, so I'm going to gather up a bunch of these from around my yard. Gathering up cleavers as well, also called goose grass, sticky grass, edible weed. I love coming into a kitchen that smells of warm bread and chicken stock. My bowl full of herbs, however you want to say it, and weeds. I'm going to rinse these off and then I'm gonna make soup.
Say hi to the bird that nests on our side porch in the roses every year.
I'm now going to have a very green bowl of soup. I'm aware it looks like swamp sludge, but it's actually lemony, peppery, and really herbaceous, and quite savory from the chicken stock. And I actually look forward to this every year. I am freezing some of this soup so that I can have it later this week, later this month, in super cubes. I love these. I absolutely was influenced by TikTok, and I don't regret it at all. They're phenomenal. And then I'm gonna put some of it in the fridge to have for lunch tomorrow. The ongoing project that takes up at least a few hours every single weekend is the restoration of the lath and plaster walls in our Victorian home. I won't go into extensive detail about how or why they were repaired incorrectly and why it mattered. Only say that it is taking us a while to get the poorly done patches off, but we are getting really close to being able to put in the correct kind of patches that chemically bond with the wall, and then do a top coat of plaster, and then lime wash. How many kinds of sanders do we need for this project? See, 1, the Dremel, with a sanding thing attached to it. 2, the belt sander, which has been the real winner of this entire mess. And 3, the orbital sander taped to a power vacuum, because it makes a lot of dust. Nim thinks that us being up on the scaffold means that we want to play with him because he thinks the scaffold is his toy. Like, it's his cat tower. So he's like, I want to play with you. I want to snuggle with you. Let's lay on the tower together and take a nap.
Okay, good night. That really tickles.
We have to deconstruct the scaffold every time we move it because otherwise it is too heavy to move. The task of cleaning up after restoration projects sometimes seems never-ending. We got the scaffold set up at the bottom of the stairs, which we only need the one platform for, and it can be pretty low. We got done all the rest of that over the last week and a half. All the way up. 12-foot ceilings in the second story, 22-foot ceilings in the first story. So 32 feet all the way up we did in the last week and a half. Oh, which is what all that mess was from. But now that it's all set up for me to work on it tomorrow, I am gonna go work on academic stuff on my laptop while Yun bathes, and then he's gonna work on academic stuff while I bathe.
We're not filming that part.
No, Yen is making a quick version of the InfoSec class. Yeah, because a couple of people were like, hey, is there like a 10-minute version of this we can show to protesters? And he was like, sure. So this is what I'll be doing tomorrow, is working up here. But look at how much we got done. It's ready to patch, it's ready to paint. Here comes another cat. I'm trying to do some academic work while I wait for my turn to get all the plaster dust off me. This one is making it really hard. He's like, but I like you best when you're sweaty. I like you best when you smell really, really bad. Is what I'm reading through right now when I am taking some time to read something that isn't fiction. I'm doing that because I am making some adjustments and amendments to my ergot document that went out to patrons already, but it's not done yet. They're never done. There's always more to do. And then the other thing that I'm working on today is the notes on entheogenic psilocybin mushrooms, because I am turning them into a booklet to go out to patrons. I'm updating the history section. I'm going to be recording this for YouTube soon. And then, as always, there is the never-ending work on the herbal spreadsheet that is just enormous. There's over 370 entries on this now, and it goes into the scientific name, the common names, the family, a summary about it, the actions it has on the body, the system affinities it has, what it is used for, its active constituents, its forms of use, the parts of the plant used or not used, the general dose ranges, the adverse and side effects, the contraindications, drug interactions, what it's commonly combined with, its conservation status, location and where to find it, cultivation, harvesting, storage, botanical description, a photo, and then a botanical illustration, and then like where it's native to, noteworthy facts, and any traditional facts about it. So I try to work on this a little bit every day. It never ends up working out that way, so it's really more a few times a week that I've been up. Shh, hey, don't scratch that. You know better. And I'm making slides for our upcoming class on misinformation and disinformation. So that's the other thing I'm working on right now on Canva. Lots to do. While Yun was filming the quick version of his InfoSec class for the people who asked for it, I finished up my slides for the misinformation and disinformation class, and now I'm going over a challenge I've been given by my martial arts instructor. So I'm currently working on earning my black belt in a different system than the many other systems I've trained in over the years. It is specifically Kempo Arnis, underneath the instructor, Dr. Jerome Barber, who is...
Fantastic.
He's phenomenal. I literally don't even have words for how privileged I am to be learning from him. And I've learned so much in such a short time, and I earned my brown belt in his system very recently. But to earn my black belt from him, he gave me a challenge. The challenge is to learn all 600 techniques that are named in the system and then adapt them to work for my height, because I am only 5'2", and for my body type, and with my current disabilities. I'm supposed to be demonstrating that I have adapted the techniques to work with the body I have, rather than expecting my body to behave like Yun's, for example, because he is 6'5" and built very differently, and although he has complicating health problems, they're different than mine. So I was having a lot of trouble keeping track of it, so I was making myself a spreadsheet of all of the different techniques, so then I can make notes on exactly what they are and what variations I've made. So this is gonna grow, but I was having a lot of trouble keeping track of everything I was supposed to learn and the names of it and the variations I'd made. So now I have a spreadsheet which Yen helped me make after he was filming, because I was doing it the slow and hard way and he did it the easy way. So I have this made, and now we're gonna go work out. This is currently the rec room where we practice martial arts and do various other workouts. I am not going to bother filming my warm-up routine, which is going to be on the exercise bike, because that would be really boring. Hit, hit. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, if I actually retreat, then you hit again.
And now you're offline and the punch makes more sense. Okay.
So, right, left, and then circle.
And then...
And block up, catch you in the elbow, hit you in the groin, hit you in the nerve plexus.
You could also step into the floating up block and just really emphasize the lead if you want. Yeah.
Okay, so block like that.
Yeah. And then that just...
Drops and hits the groin. That hits in the nerve plexus.
And
then that has a power blow to the floating nerve.
I don't think so, actually.
Shitty straight
I
punch.
think the problem is that my step offline is way offline.
Yeah.
So if I...
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then turn you into it.
And then flip. It is bedtime, so I am curling up with a murder mystery and a nice glass of Glenlivet. This is a really nice glass of Glenlivet because I'm out of my cheaper drinking whiskey that I normally drink. And so I'm breaking into my birthday bottle, which was a little more expensive than my standard. But it has also been a long and trying week, so I get to have the nicer one. I'm gonna have my whiskey, I'm gonna brush my teeth, I'm gonna watch my murder mystery, and then I'm gonna go to bed.